Hi, I am Twins, or That Which Is Not Said, and I'm here to record a session for WRAS, album 88.5 FM Atlanta.
This is 88 Sessions at Album 88.
Thank you so much to Album 88 for having us. Love you guys.
This is Album 88.
Unless you show me all the words you know. Too late now, backing out the right words. Tie me down, I wish you would show me all the words you know. Must be close enough. Last one to find out all the words that count for you, to let me in when it gets cold. The beliefs I don't hold. Last one to find out. It's too late to go back home. Last one to find out now. Lie awake, face down. follow me home. Oh, follow me home. First one is bigger than the next one. The third one beats the first two. The fifth one is better than the fourth one. But by the sixth one, everyone's through.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
We're here live with Twins. You have a new release. How do you feel about your new album that came out in May, That Which Is Not Said?
Yeah.
Does it still feel kind of fresh?
So parts of it do, but you know, I've kind of been working. It's kind of the result of like 2+ years worth of writing and recording songs, and then kind of just picking the best of those that I also thought kind of had a nice flow as an album. But you know, in the time since then, I've been writing something a little more deliberately, and so I guess where my head is at now, I can feel
It's towards the next project more so than it was the one that's
exactly. And you know, I definitely stand behind the album. I'm like happy with it and all, but I feel like it kind of got me to where I wanted to be.
It was the work you had to put in. It feels like for this album.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you typically feel that way about your music, or is this sort of
a
similar process?
I would say so, but I feel like it gets more like I keep saying like, okay, now I actually feel like I'm making the music I want to make, and then I listen back to it a year later. I'm like, oh wait, no, what I'm doing now is actually that. So but I feel it more intensely each time. So I feel like I'm getting closer to whatever.
It just keeps layering in.
Exactly, and I'm getting more confident in certain ways and just learning more things. And I don't know. I just feel like a lot more comfortable in with what I'm doing now. So
I don't know. That seems really interesting that your previous bodies of work inform your other bodies of work. Do you typically spend, do you feel like you'll spend less time to get to the next project than this one? Or do
uh,
you feel like typically it ends up being a 2 to 3 year process with,
I would say, well, it actually hasn't been typical, but
what made you want to spend more time figuring things out then?
uh, like for the
For the
newer.
previous,
Oh,
for the previous one.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I guess I always feel like you have all these ideas and you go and you try to like lay stuff down and make make the music you want to make, and it's always exciting and fun, and then I don't know. I guess you just like have to be consistently self-critical and just like think about, okay, how can I take it further now, or what,
What's the next step that I want to take?
Yeah,
in
it's
the
it's
music?
not about saying like, oh, that was crap actually, because I don't.
It's not that
I'm
it
not
was,
embarrassed about
it's
any of
not
it.
that
It's
it was
just
bad or that you don't like it. It's just that, oh, I can still make, like I'm not done
yeah,
making
and
it, so
even
why
there
stop there?
exactly, and like I would say even like 6 7 years ago, there were things I was trying that are way more ambitious than things I would try nowadays, and so sometimes like being reminded of that, it's helps me like get some of that spark back for
Interesting.
maybe trying something I wouldn't have thought to try, or
Glad to try.
yeah.
Would you say that you're influenced by your entire body of music then? Like, do you go back to listen to older works and see how you can try to adjust some of those things or try
Yeah,
those things
oh,
more
absolutely.
confidently?
And I think I would do that less so these days because I feel like I'm getting further from, those things. Not, but I feel like, or from the older works as time goes on, and I think it's easy to get too stuck just listening to yourself and think about that, and then you like go
Really?
listen to a whole, other stuff that has nothing to do with, and you're like, oh my God, wait, there's all these other things I can do. So it's good and bad,
It's
but
good and bad to be influenced in
yeah, yeah.
different
It's
ways.
sometimes you just need to move on and forget the past, and it is what it is. But I still think that there are things that got me into making music to begin with that I haven't let go of, and it's nice to be reminded of that by hearing it, common threads throughout all the stuff, even if a lot of it
What are some of those? What are some of the things that you're trying to, that you feel you're still trying to accomplish with your music, or what are the things that you're trying to show are features in your music that aren't features in other music that it's a.
yeah. So I guess I feel like I spent a lot of my earlier time learning how to play and make music very like freeform and experimental and really dealing with sound a lot head on, and I feel like I'm very comfortable working with all of that, and but I've always just wanted to write like really good songs, and
As well with it.
yeah, but I'm less comfortable as a like competent musician.
Composer. It's
Yeah,
interesting because I like your music. It's very, but yeah, it's
thanks.
very experimental, and you
Yeah.
definitely have to want to hear something that does have elements of different instruments and different notes and sound qualities all at once. Like I feel like that's something that more people like nowadays, but it's not something that I'm just like regularly like
No,
mentioning in like
I
a
agree.
typical sound conversation when it's like, what are you listening to? It's like I can mention jazz and hip hop with ease because it's common, but at the same
Right.
time, like there's a lot more that I'm listening to, and this is a deep conversation with music. It's a conversation where I would bring up something like twins and everything.
Word. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, because it's definitely it's more about I guess for me it's I don't know why, but it's one of those things. If I go long enough without trying to like make some music or just go in the studio and even just mess around, I just don't feel right. It's like something I have to do to just like it centers me in a way, So
Yeah.
it's not so much I don't know. It's just at this point it just feels like a
Concept.
compulsive thing that I have to do. It's like it's my therapy in a way also, but so it is a personal process in a lot of ways.
Just
And
like the music reflects like
yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say with all of that is that I would like to keep steering it in a direction where people hear it and they don't have to like try quite as hard to understand it. Yeah.
It's not as niche
Yeah.
after all. It's just
Right. Because ultimately, like, fads and trends and scenes and all these niches, like, I have certain aesthetic things that really resonate with me, and I try to bring that into what I do, but I try not to let that limit it because I think those are all like learned things, and there's still innate things that you have to allow to come out to make it, you know, your own work.
Right.
I don't want to just be imitating stuff I've heard on records that I really like, you know.
That's interesting.
I cannot back up now that I've gone through the ropes of a love so cold. Oh. Lights gone now. now. When I say
what are your live shows like? If you don't mind me asking, how
Yeah.
do you like doing? Do you prefer it to the studio work that you do, or do you like having a healthy balance? Of
I like a
performing in
balance,
studio
absolutely.
and going out to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would still say that, you know, the best like high you can get is the feeling after a really good performance, a really good show. I don't know, for me, there's still no better feeling. But if I don't have the material that I feel good about to play to people, then I'm not going to get that feeling. So to like be excited about what you're working on in the studio, it kind of feeds off each other. So yeah, I have to have both for sure. Because I don't want to just make the music and spend all this time on it and then not share it with people either.
Would you say that there's more experimentation or more that happens to your music when you're performing it live, or is it is it a continuation of the work that you've done in the studio?
Oh yeah,
or is
yeah.
it just like kind of replicating that experimental experience of like bringing it together?
No, I don't. See, I personally, there are people that can pull it off, but I generally don't enjoy watching someone have to like build everything from scratch. Build everything from scratch on a bunch of gear on stage. Like, it's like, you know, get to the point already.
Like,
so I present the songs as they're supposed to be presented, or in my head at least. You know, no one else knows how they're supposed to be presented usually, because I'm usually playing stuff that isn't out yet. Just because I'm, you know, by the time it's out, I've played it so I usually test out the stuff I'm going to put on the record live and see what kind of reaction the songs get and that kind of stuff. So that's, I guess, part of the process too.
Interesting.
Or something that can't be overlooked for sure.
So people typically hear the music that's going on your albums before your albums
Yeah,
are
exactly.
coming out. Like,
And there are songs that I play live that go over great, and I just never like the recording, so it may just exist as a live thing, and, you know, that's cool too. But, you know, that being said, I will like dub things out a little bit more, just like add some extra flair to
add
parts.
some extra bass, maybe like drag out a part. Of
Yeah, stuff like that. And then I do have like a handful of stuff where I will get a little more loose with it, and kind of just like improvise the whole structure. But it's like I have the parts already ready to go. I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of arranging it on the spot, and then like, you know, messing with stuff, adding effects, and doing the vocals. And so yeah, it really just kind of depends on the type of show I'm playing and the crowd and the vibe. And I have like 2 hours worth of material I can kind of choose from, to almost like a DJ would, I guess, to like suit the room for the night.
Right. You can just like go through it like it's a crate and just be like, do we want to hear this kind of vibe? Do we want to have this kind of vibe? What are you what would be more of a dream experience performing live? Do you enjoy doing these bigger shows? Do you want to keep going to do bigger shows?
Oh yeah,
like this,
I do like it a lot.
You do?
It's yeah, I've thought about this, and I don't know what I really prefer overall. I kind of do like a mixture because it can be overwhelming and exhausting to do like the club thing all the time, especially because you're usually playing like way later too.
Right.
And then, you know, if you're at a venue, it's like you usually have like better treatment. Like, you know, there's like food and stuff provided and a green room and all this kind of stuff.
Instead of it just being a regular green room where it's just like, oh, we might have got a bottle of wine if we did.
Yeah, or if there's even a green room at all,
Right.
or something, you know. Which I'm not like it.
Nothing to like be like boo to places that don't have green.
Oh
rooms,
yeah,
but
I
at
mean the
same
majority
time-
of the places I play don't. And, you know, I'm plenty used to that, but it's always nice to have
It's always
that, especially when you're just on the road and it's like night after night, and you know sometimes you don't want to be social all the time, or you just need to rest your brain.
Completely understandable. Where do you want to take this next project? Do you want to be able to go to bigger venues and everything? Do you
Yeah,
want to be
absolutely.
able to like travel off of it? Maybe go
Yeah.
outside of the U.S. more. What do
Yeah,
you-
definitely. I did like my first European tour last fall, and I definitely want to do the next one as soon as possible. So, working on finishing the next album by the end of the year and having it out like in
Early
the
next
spring.
year.
So, we'll see.
Where would you go in Europe last year?
I went to Berlin, Dusseldorf, this place in the Netherlands called Tilburg, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Vilnius in Lithuania, and Belgrade in Serbia.
Wow, how long were you out there for?
For like 19 days. And, you know, the shows were on the weekends. And during it worked out that a friend of mine who is from the U.S., he has a one bedroom in Berlin, and he was in the U.S. for the exact time I was here. So just like I had a spot to
In
crash,
Berlin
you know,
to
my
just
downtime. Yeah, and it
sit
was
around
pretty awesome. That's actually where I designed the sleeve for the LP, because like we
Really?
kind of finalized everything right then, and they're like, all right, well, if we're gonna get this out, you know, on time, we need the art in the next few days. I had a few days off, and I was like, all right, let's
Just
do
worked
it.
on the art and
Yeah.
everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's great. All right. Well, thanks for talking with us. We look forward
Oh,
to
yeah,
your
thanks.
performance later on today.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.